Hey YouTube, Matty's Daddy 12, Team JMT, coming to you guys with, I guess, a rant video. I'm wanting to talk about just a couple of things on a subject that I've been talking to some of my friends about. Are we killing our local metas? Um, so there's been several topics in this subject that's been brought up, but the first one that I want to talk about is eBay. The reason I want to talk about eBay first is because I am just as guilty as anybody else of this. I will take cards and I will sell them on eBay to the highest bidder. And what ends up happening when we do this is we end up taking cards out of our local area and shipping them across the U.S. to whoever's going to give us the most money at that time. And when we do stuff like that, those cards are no longer in our area. Now, and not even just the U.S. I mean, I'll ship them across the world if somebody across the world wants them. So what ends up happening when you do something like this is the cards are taken out of your area, they get plucked from your area and sent across the nation. And if nobody in your area is doing the same as far as buying the cards and bringing them back to your area, then there are no top dollar, top tier cards in your area. There are no tour guides in your area. There are no rabbits in your area because you got that one guy who trades for all of them and then sells them all on eBay. And then nobody in your area is able to play the deck that involves that card. Instance right now, we have a gentleman in our area, John Newcomb, one of the members of Team JMT, wants to play the rabbit deck. He has two rescue rabbits, cannot come across a third yet, and he can't play the deck. And I'm just as guilty as anybody else. I sold two rabbits on eBay just a couple of weeks ago. So do I personally keep him from being able to play that deck? I don't feel that I did. However, now somebody in my area can't play that deck because he doesn't have the cards. So, what exactly does that mean? When you take the top tier cards out of your area, you also take the top tier decks out of your area. And when you take the top tier decks out of your area, you limit your, especially if you're on a team, you limit your team's chances at being able to win regionals and top at events because those cards are not in your area anymore, so your teammates don't have the ability to use those cards. Your friends don't have the ability to use those cards because you've shipped them off to Arizona to whoever wanted to buy them out there or anywhere else in the U.S. So when those decks are not in your area and the players at your locals are not able to play those decks, then you're not able to play against those decks at a competitive level. Yeah, you can still play test against proxy decks, and you can still play test on Dueling Network, but playtesting against a proxy deck is not going to give you the same competitive rush that playtesting against one of the rabbit decks at a local will. And then Dueling Network, you have no control over the person that is actually playing that deck, so you have no idea if they're good. You have no idea if they've got a proper build. You have no idea if they've even got the ability to read the cards, because that seems to be coming up a lot on that site, is playing against people that just cannot read their cards. So yeah, you can still technically playtest against that deck. However, it's not the same level of playtesting that you could get if one of your teammates or one of your friends had that deck built. So when you've pulled the cards out and you've sent them away, now you no longer have the ability to playtest against the deck. You no longer have the ability to play the deck or play against the deck. And you hurt yourself, really, because you're not able to playtest against that stuff, and you're not able to prepare yourself with a proper side deck for your regionals or your events coming up. Next thing I want to talk about is when you sell a card on eBay, you're taking all of the risk upon yourself. In order to make up for the risk that you have to take by selling it in an auction, or selling on to buy it now because somebody may not even want to buy it. So you're left with that card, and in order to make that risk worth it, you have to pick the card up for as little as possible in order to make a profit on that card and to make the risk that you have to take worth it. And I'm number one to tell you guys about the risk that is out there after the recent scam that I had to fight through with eBay, which eBay actually finally, backing up and taking care of me. But having to go through that with the rescue rabbits that I sold becomes very obvious that there is a huge risk on the seller, and that you can't give top dollar for these cards and then go and try to sell them on eBay and make money. You just can't. You need to pick them up for as low of an amount as possible so you have a greater profit margin so you can make more money, so it makes it worth the issues and the problems that you may have. Now, when you do something like that, what ends up happening is the original owner of the card doesn't get a very much back for his investment. He doesn't get a lot of cards back in return for a card that you're going to sell on eBay. Granted, you may be able to give him all of the key cards in rare and commons and this and that in order for him to build a certain deck that he wants to build, which in his eyes, he's getting an entire deck for one card, so in his eyes it may be a fair trade, but in the dollar amounts, it doesn't exactly add up. However, as long as whoever you were trading with is okay with the deal, then who am I to complain? So you end up getting people who end up getting, I guess, ripped off, if you want to put it that way, as far as the dollar amount is concerned. However, the people that are selling on eBay, the people that are trading to that person also need to understand that all of the risk is in that person's court. So if you trade it to them, if you trade them a $25 card for $18, you've really not lost a huge amount on your card. And if anything happens with the card on eBay, it's all his risk and not yours. So I just want to maybe brighten everybody's eyes to the fact that maybe there are some things that we are doing on our local level to hurt our metas and to hurt our local players and our local stores. So I appreciate it, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed this segment and be expecting just a few more. And like always, guys, subscribe, comment down below, show us how much you love us.